Contracts in general can be intimidating. TLDR, is the contract too long? Didn't read? Let me break it down for you. Caveat, you really should read the contract. I'm David McDivitt. I'm a lawyer and I like contracts. I like to read them. I like to write them. I like to evaluate them. But not everybody likes to do that. So in this video, I want to try to help you understand exactly what maybe you should be looking for in a contract when you're hiring a personal injury lawyer to help you with your personal injury claim. So I'm going to talk to you about what to do when you are hiring a lawyer for your personal injury case. You get presented with that contract, or a fee agreement, as some lawyers call them, or as some states refer to them. That's the agreement between you and the attorney. It allows that attorney to begin working for you. They typically follow a certain format. At the top will be an explanation of who the parties are. That's you and the attorney. It'll explain with some degree of specificity what the claim is. Was it a personal injury claim, a motor vehicle crash, and on what date? That way that we have some idea that the attorney is helping you on this particular discrete issue. Every state is going to be a little bit different in what they require a personal injury lawyer to put in a fee agreement. Every attorney is going to maybe put some different language in. It's not necessarily gotcha language. It's the way that they want to explain things to their client. Specifically, how the lawyer is going to get paid. How are they charging? If it's on a contingency fee, it's going to explain the percentage. Is the attorney going to be receiving like 1/3 of the recovery? Is it going to be 40% of the recovery? It may start out at, say, 35% and then go up a little bit more if that lawyer has to file a lawsuit. That lawyer is going to help that client try to resolve the claim without going to court. Now, they're not successful with that. A lawsuit needs to get filed. The amount of time, the amount of effort that the lawyer has to put into that case goes up exponentially. And typically then they will charge a slightly higher fee for the work done on the case if it has to go into litigation. Also, the costs will go up, and the lawyers will oftentimes advance those costs. That fee agreement needs to explain, is that lawyer going to advance those costs? And if so, the contract will probably explain that at the end of the case, the lawyer is going to be reimbursed those costs. Another thing to look for in this is the lawyer going to associate with another attorney outside their firm? This is not uncommon, and the more complicated a case is, the more likely it is that a lawyer who even specializes in personal injury or workers' compensation or large trucking cases will still affiliate with another lawyer who has equally deep experience in that particular case, so they can either pool resources, or if they have different subsets of specialties within that, they can optimize the recovery for you. That fee agreement needs to articulate whether the attorney's fees will increase if that lawyer decides to associate with another attorney. Typically, those attorney's fees will not increase for a client. For example, at my firm, if we decide we want to bring in somebody else to help us with that case, another lawyer, the amount of money that a client would then pay for the attorney at the end of the case out of the recovery does not go up. The client still gets their same amount. The attorneys each get less. They split that. The fee agreement needs to explain that. What happens if there is a breakdown in the relationship between the attorney and the client? Many fee agreements will explain, can either party fire each other? Listen, it doesn't happen a lot, but there are some times that there's just a wrong or a misfit between a client and an attorney. Maybe the client doesn't like the attorney. They don't feel that the attorney is really advocating for them or is aggressive enough or is fast enough. They decide they want to leave. There may be times where the attorney realizes, I'm not going to be successful for my client, or I cannot manage or meet their expectations. And there's really not a good meeting of the minds there. And the attorney has to say, look, you may be better off finding a different attorney. In either situation, there is a breakdown in that relationship. Does that contract explain what will happen then? Will the attorney be allowed to be reimbursed for the time that they've put into that case up to that point? There's a Latin term called quantum meruit, which essentially means that you're allowed to be paid for the value of the time that you put into a case. It's not uncommon for an attorney to have some kind of language in a fee agreement. It may not be called quantum meruit. They may use non-Latin language, but it explains the fact that if a client does fire that lawyer, client goes and hires another attorney, that first attorney is allowed to make a claim against the new attorney for their time and their expenses that they put into that case before they were fired by the client. That's typically a relationship between the attorney and the other attorney, doesn't involve the client, and again, should not mean that the client's fees to attorneys in general will go up. When my clients are looking at a fee agreement with my firm, for example, there are 3 things that I really want them to understand in our fee agreement. Number 1, how we're paid. What is our fee percentage? It's a little different than a firm over there or a firm over there. Sometimes our fee is a little bit higher. Sometimes our fee is a little bit lower. And I want clients to understand exactly what our fee is. And that means how much money we will get if we get a recovery for our client. I also want our clients to understand that if we don't get a recovery for our client, they don't owe us money out of pocket. We don't charge our clients monthly. We don't ask for a retainer up front. We only get paid if we get a recovery for our clients. So when you're looking at a fee agreement, it's really important that you understand, is that lawyer going to also bill you a little bit up front as a retainer to start working on your personal injury case? Are they going to periodically bill you monthly for the work that they're doing? Are they doing it purely on a contingency fee? You really need to understand that. And also how you can get out of that contract. I think it is vital for our clients to understand that if they're not happy, they can leave. They can go hire another attorney. They can even prosecute the claim by themselves. I'm not going to send a bill to that client. Listen, at the beginning of this video, I promised the whole TLDR component. This explanation has probably taken longer for me to say and for you to watch than reading an actual attorney fee agreement. Hashtag TLDR, nope, I just like contracts. Whether or not you've enjoyed it or not, I hope that it's been informative. That was the whole goal of this video. Listen, if you've got any more questions, you can always let me know by sending me a direct message, or you can reach out to my law firm. Thanks.